What's up, everyone? It is Josh here from No Butts About It, and we are going to have a very special guest who you are going to meet up next here on No Butts About It. It is Friday, March 21st. I'm Josh Butts of No Butts About It, and to my right, but I think it's your left. The camera, it's all funky. Is a guy you've never seen before. But if you're a Vikings fan, I'm sure you're familiar. It's Onebar from the Onebar Lupagus Show. How are you doing today, first of all?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Sun's shining. It's Friday. Basketball is going to be on all damn day. Free agency's in full effect. It is a wonderful day. I got to say, in your intro, I saw some familiar faces. I saw Dion. I saw the professor from the Cardinals. Looking forward to being here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, Joe and Dion are both friends of the show. And Dion is funny. Before we get into it, I just found him on YouTube, and I found out like his parents and my parents know each other from way back. So that was a funny connection.
That's crazy. Dion's fantastic. He's fun. He's fun to talk football with.
Yes, he's a good guy, fun to talk football with. Lions fan, was rooting for him in the playoffs because the Bengals and Colts didn't make it. But what do you do? What's your thing?
We got the Onebar Lupagus Show. We've gone like just full on these last couple of years. We started off just, talking Vikings every once in a while, but we're almost at 15,000 subs. We're trying to get to 15K by draft day, and we're getting close. So we just live and breathe Minnesota Vikings. We can't help it. They break our heart left and right, but we keep coming back for more. It's delicious.
You've got that strong Minnesota accent too, so we know you're legit.
The amount of comments we get, it's hilarious. Like you guys have the strongest Minnesota accent ever. It's like, dude, we live in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
We're way up north. So
Okay.
This is as thick as it gets. It's thick. I own it.
You know Charlie Barron's? I know he's Wisconsin, but are you familiar with him? He's a comedian.
No.
Oh, you should look him up. He does
I think I do know who that is.
He does the strong like northern Midwest accent, and his like hyperbole is what you sound like. But
no, I do know who that is. I've seen his stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with it. There's gonna be a lot of boats in your nose. So just to warn you guys.
Okay. I say ope sometimes, so I'm with you there. Let's just get right into it. So I wanted Onebar to come on the show because the Vikings have been very active in free agency, done a ton of stuff that I've really liked, and I will talk about that later on as we get closer to the regular season. They've made some big moves, but when it comes to making those moves, you can't keep everyone around, and they had to let a guy walk, and that was Cam Bynum. He got picked up by the Indianapolis Colts. So some Colts fans may not know who he is. He's not a super on the radar type of guy. So I just wanted to introduce Colts fans to Cam Bynum because I think he's a very underrated player. So in your opinion, after seeing him the last few years, what would you say Cam Bynum's strengths are?
So Cam Bynum, he came to the Vikings as a 4th-round pick. And when the Vikings drafted him, he came like we didn't know if he was going to play corner or safety, and he was kind of a tweener. Like in that draft process, that's what everybody thought. Like you can kind of pick where you're going to play this guy, and the Vikings plopped him at safety. And even as a rookie, I want to say he started maybe 3 or 4 games as a rookie, which was surprising based off of he was kind of a guy that we figured was going to take a little while, but he also had Harrison Smith next to him, which definitely helped his development. So Cam Bynum, I mean, long story short, he burst on the scene pretty quick, being a big part of this defense. And he's been damn good the last 4 years. He's really good in coverage. A lot of things he gets credit for is more his celebrations. I mean, everybody's always talking about, it's celebrations. I mean, it's great. It's fun. But the dude's a baller. He can play some football. He's a very good safety. When he's out on an island, he's a playmaker. He's always around the ball. He's a damn good tackler. He's good against the run. He just does it all. He does everything very good. Like, he's not like a liability at anything. He's not overly fantastic at everything. He's just a very, very good safety. And I think he's only, I don't know how old he is. He's Bynum 26, 27 maybe.
He's pretty young still.
He's just a very, very good safety that you're not going to have to worry about just having a bad game. There's games where he disappeared at times, and I'm not surprised that the NFL doesn't really know a ton about Cam Bynum because he is very quiet until this year when he started doing all those celebrations. And a very, very good locker room guy as well. Everybody loves him. He's a great teammate. And it was tough to see Cam Bynum go. He's been a fan favorite. He's been a guy that whenever you draft somebody and just watch him get better every year, and then it's like, all right, man, he made his payday. He's gonna say bye. It hurts, but it was deserved. It was just, and I'm sure we'll get into it why he left, but the price tag itself just kind of took the Vikings out of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned he's going to be a good locker room guy. That's something the Colts really need. The Colts really haven't had a culture around them, in my opinion, since Luck left. They've been trying to find their identity, and they just haven't been able to do that. Do you think that Cam Bynum can contribute to building that culture, or is he someone who needs to come in where one's already been established?
No, he can do that. He's at a point in his career. I mean, he was even on, what was he on? NFL Network. I think it was that a couple mornings ago. What's the dude doing? He's just talking J.J. McCarthy up. I mean, he's just saying how good of a player this guy's going to be, how good of a guy this guy's going to be. Like, he's still talking up Vikings. He's still like just the guy that everybody loves. And that shows his true colors, because he easily could be talking about all the money he just made, the future with him and the Colts. And he's talking up J.J. McCarthy. No, I think he's going to be a very big part of, the Colts leadership. I mean, I could see him being a captain. I don't know who the Colts captains are. I don't know what they got going on defense these days, but he's going to be a big part of that.
The Colts, I don't think they know who their captains are right now either. So that's okay. You mentioned, though, his payday. He got paid a lot. Safeties, it's been a good time for safeties the last few years, really. He signed a $60 million 4-year contract with $26 million fully guaranteed and $32 million total in guarantees. What are your thoughts on that contract initially?
I was surprised how high it was. I don't think it's crazy where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe the Colts just did that. It was deserved. Someone was going to take a swing on him. I think from the Viking standpoint, like we had so many other areas that needed to be addressed. The defensive line, which they addressed heavily, the offensive line, which they addressed heavily. They had to bring back one of our own, Byron Murphy. And when you just start stacking up as far as where he landed, it was easy to let him go get paid. They were never going to pay him that much. Brian Flores' defense, the Vikings defensive coordinator, he's still got some tools. He's got the Josh Metellus, Harrison Smith's coming back. They re-signed Theo Jackson. So Vikings fans kind of knew he wasn't coming back. And the thing with Cam Bynum, which I should have said, is I don't think he's going to be a guy that comes in and transforms a defense single-handedly. He's a nice piece to have. Just like when he was here with the Vikings, he was a nice piece to have. We had the Jonathan Grenards, the Andrew Van Ginkels, we had the Byron Murphys, and Cam Bynum just was a very good piece. He's not going to come in and all of a sudden take a defense single-handedly to a new level. He's going to need some guys around him. So hopefully the Colts have some guys to build around him, still have some money to spend, because I don't think he's just going to all of a sudden be like, all right, your defense is fantastic. but the price tag alone, the price tag alone, that was fair. It was fair. It's just I know the Vikings were never going to go anywhere near that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, the Colts defense is kind of at a low bar right now. They brought in Travarius Ward, which should help, but can Cam Bynum tackle? Because that's kind of where the standard's at right now for Colts fans.
No, he can tackle. He's a good tackler. He's had some games where it was kind of like, yikes, but every safety out on an island out there is going to miss some tackles. He can tackle, and he's good against the run. You're not going to have to worry there.
Good. I mean, I know Colts fans, like, it sounds silly to people who haven't watched the Colts a lot, but that's really it. They need tacklers. The Bengals are kind of in the same boat, so it's rough. But Lou, you mentioned Brian Flores' defense and how he wasn't necessarily a priority in that defense. The Colts brought in Lou Anarumo this year as their new defensive coordinator, and Lou Anarumo doesn't really have a consistent base scheme. He changes it week to week based on who the opponent is. However, something I believe is very important in his scheme is the free safety. And we kind of saw that when Jesse Bates left the Bengals, his schemes kind of took a major hit and they never really replaced Jesse Bates. Now, Cam Bynum is very likely going to be the starting free safety in Lou's schemes. Uh, do you think that that will work out? Like, what do you think of all that?
100%. That's where he should be. I mean, 8 interceptions in 4 years. I mean, he's always around the ball, and that's kind of was his role with the Vikings. I mean, Harrison Smith was a strong safety, laying everybody out, while Cam Bynum was out there picking off the quarterbacks, doing all the fun stuff, getting the pick sixes and doing the dancing. So I think Cam Bynum's going to fit in great in that defense. Like you said, Ward as well. That's going to be wonderful as well, because Cam Bynum has had some good cornerbacks while he's been here too. I don't know who the other safety is back there, but no, he's going to work out great. Like that's a perfect spot for him.
Do you think that he relied heavily on Harrison Smith? Because my personal belief is that Harrison Smith's a borderline Hall of Famer. I don't think
yeah, absolutely. The good thing for Colts fans to know is I don't think he heavily relied on. I think he relied on his mentorship and cracking him in the shape. But Harrison Smith, the last couple of years is he's 37 years old. He's been on a decline. So he's not the hitman we've seen 5 years ago. So Cam Bynum at times was picking up Harrison Smith's slack.
Okay. That's good to know for Colts fans. Cause I mean, anyone who's watched the Vikings defense or the last 10 years knows Harrison Smith is a big deal. And so I think that there was kind of a worry there for some fans that like, is this guy just getting carried? So
I would be the only as far as getting carried. Brian Flores has made some guys look very, very good these last couple of years. And is that his scheme? Is that where he's putting these guys? Is he putting Cam Bynum in a spot to succeed? That would be the only thing I'd piggyback on as far as, what made Cam Bynum so good.
Okay. I guess final question about him. How excited should Colts fans be about Cam Bynum? I mean, everyone gets excited about the big name signings, but Cam Bynum's not a big name like we mentioned. So,
well, I mean, the Colts obviously think he's a big name for what they paid him. I think he's going to be a huge part of that defense. I'll say the Vikings, when we signed Andrew Van Ginkel last year, nobody thought him as a big name. I kind of compared the two signings, kind of a guy that's under the radar and goes into a very good spot, and Van Ginkel absolutely lit it up. So Cam Bynum, I think Colts fans should be excited. The Colts fans are going to love this guy. They're going to absolutely love him day one. Like I said, locker room guy in the media, doing his dances, but he also backs it up on the field. So they should be very excited about him. Based off of the price tag, I would say you should probably expect anywhere from 3 to 6 picks, some damn good games back there. And he's, like I said, he's not a liability. I just hope he backs up that price that they paid him.
I hope so too. It's rough here in Indiana when the Colts aren't playing well. Let's talk about the fun part for you though. Let's not talk about guys who left the Vikings. Let's move on to some guys who came in to Minnesota, who are going to be starting up front in front of J.J. McCarthy. It's looking like he's going to be your starting guy this year. So both Colts players, you guys went after Colts offensive linemen. Understandably so. They've had a pretty great offensive line the last few years. First guy we're going to talk about, Will Fries, 5-year, $88 million contract. Looks like it's going to be effectively 2 years worth of locked in cap hits though. So just full transparency on that contract. How important is a Will Fries signing in your opinion with J.J. McCarthy, essentially going into his rookie year?
Now, Will Fries was the guy Vikings fans wanted all offseason. Like when free agency hit, it was Will. I mean, Trey Smith, obviously he got franchised. He was taken out. But Will Fries instantly became that number one guard for the Vikings fans that they wanted to sign. I mean, talking about Cam Bynum, he better live up to that price tag. Well, Will Fries better live up to the price tag too. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of questions with Will Fries, but we're ecstatic. We are ecstatic. We got a young guard that before his injury was showing to be one of the best guards in the league. And J.J. McCarthy is a big part of why we revamped that interior offensive line. The interior offensive line for the Vikings the last few years has been gross. We're set at tackle with Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw, but once you get into the inside, Bradbury now is gone. He's a Patriot. But the right guard was Ed Ingram and Dalton Reisner, and they were having a real tough go at it. And Sam Darnold, dude, was sacked like 48 times last year, and a big part of that was because of that. So we knew they were going to spend a lot of money. Vikings, I mean, the media is saying like Will Fries was their number one target the entire time. They were probably going to pay the guy whatever the hell he wanted. Like it got to that point. Like interior offensive line was so bad, and he was the guy. Like there's Tevin Jenkins out there. There's the old timers, the Brandon Scherfs. Zeitler now is a Titan, but Will Fries was the guy. And you know what? He better show up, man. A lot of pressure on Will Fries, but we're excited. We are very, very excited to have him there. Like I said, before that injury, the dude was just killing it. Former like 6th rounder just comes in. I know he's coming off the injury. That'll be a question mark, but it had to be done. Like they probably just handed him a blank check.
Yeah, I mean, Will Fries, he's a guy I kind of wanted the Bengals to go after, kind of wanted the Colts to keep as my 2 teams, but also like you mentioned, there's a lot of risk with this. This is arguably the biggest risk versus reward signing of all of free agency. You mentioned you're nervous. Is the leg injury? I believe it was a broken tibia. Is that a concern for you?
No, it's more so. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit concerned, but I'm not worried about that. It's more of the small sample size of playing at such a high level. With Fries, I know he's been a starter for I think 3 years or so, but this last year before he got injured is where all of a sudden he was just at that. I mean, it was only 5 games, but it's the small sample size. I'm not worried that he's not going to be an improvement. Like the bar is so low, he's going to be an improvement. But again, I keep saying price tag. He better be damn good. And the other guy we're going to talk about, I think, is going to help that as well. And he's got Brian O'Neill to the other side of him.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that small sample size, and I was kind of going to get into that here a little bit. I mean, 5 games looks phenomenal. I mean, his PFF grades are phenomenal. His regular stats are normal. Everything looks great at 2024 for that season. But you go back to 2023 or even before that, he's had some struggles as a pass blocker. He's always been a pretty good run blocker. But I think the the Vikings are looking for a strong pass blocker, especially with a young quarterback. Obviously, with Addison and Jefferson, you guys have that receiver duo. Is that concerning to you, or do you think that he'll be okay?
No, I mean it's definitely a concern. Like I said, the bar is so low; it's still going to be an improvement. But
Okay.
you said exactly kind of my worries as far as looking back at the previous years. It'll be a concern. Brian O'Neill helping. I do think the Vikings are going to run the ball a lot more than they have in the past with J.J. McCarthy. They made that trade for Jordan Mason, bringing Aaron Jones back. Those are couple of running backs that can get some yards. So I think they're going to be relying pretty heavily on the run game. But yeah, I mean, Will Fries, you better hold his own in that pass game, man. J.J. McCarthy is the future. We can't have him on his back.
Yeah, I don't like seeing young quarterbacks setting records for getting sacked. I've seen that too many times in my young lifetime. But you kind of alluded to it. We're just gonna go right into him. You guys also signed Ryan Kelly, the former center for the Indianapolis Colts. So what's the importance of having a guard and a center who have already had a history of working together?
I mean, the Colts have had a beautiful offensive line. Why not bring 2 of them who know each other? I'll say that the Kelly one came out of nowhere. Like that, all of a sudden they were like, "We just signed Ryan Kelly." Like, what the hell? He was never even rumored around it. The Vikings have had Garrett Bradbury since 2019, and they love Bradbury, so nobody expected the Vikings to move on from Bradbury. So when that move came down, it was just like a little bit of shell shock. And talk about like taking a risk. I mean, he's a 2-year, $18 million, 9 guaranteed, but 31 years old. Injuries, like both these guys are very, very risky. I love the fact that they've played together, to answer your question. Like that can only help.
What I guess, I mean, you already said it. They moved on from Garrett Bradbury, a former first round pick. Obviously younger, or is no, excuse me. Kelly's younger, but why would you move on from him already? Like he looked like Bradbury was playing well from the outside. Is age that major difference?
No, he just, man, he was such a liability as a pass blocker. I mean, he was one of those smaller athletic centers. I think he got a little more. I mean, Vikings fans have been done with Bradbury for years. And Bradbury, I said this before, like he's almost one of the best busts you can have. Like the Vikings actually re-signed him after his contract. I mean, they extended him, and then he came in and he just couldn't get it done. And there's a lot of question marks. Was it because of the guards that were next to him? Is he just not that great? He goes to the Patriots. I think he'll be just fine. Bradbury is just a average to maybe a little bit below average center. So it was surprising they moved on from him just because how much love the coaching staff and GM has said towards him. But Ryan Kelly, like even though how big of a risk he is, we're still way more happier to take that risk than do another season with Garrett Bradbury. And it comes back to J.J. McCarthy. Like they have to get different guys, different bodies up there, and they did it. And they took some swings.
It's a new face in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Kelly looks like he doesn't look very nice. I hope he plays not nice because it's hilarious watching this dude. It's like Bradbury's this kind of smaller center, and Ryan Kelly comes in, and I'm like, dude, this guy looks like he can bust some heads.
Yeah. Yeah, he even in his like pick, there's players are usually smiling. He's got a grimace. And I want to recorrect myself. I don't know why I second guessed myself. Ryan Kelly is 2 years older than Garrett Bradbury. So
yeah, Bradbury when he came out of the draft, he was old. I want to say he was 24, 25 maybe when he came out.
Yeah. Bradbury is 29 now. Ryan Kelly is 31. So a little bit older, but like you said, maybe a meaner playing style from Ryan Kelly, a little bigger body, and honestly, just change of scenery may just help him as well. But those injuries stack up. That's like it seems like every year, and this was what a lot of Colts fans were saying when I was looking at what their thoughts on for Ryan Kelly were. It was Ryan Kelly is great when healthy. And Ryan Kelly has missed 10 games the last 2 seasons compared to Bradbury, who missed 3 games the last 2 seasons. So where are we on that? You've signed 2 guys from the Colts who are great when they play. So
yeah, that's the big question. And the injuries for Ryan Kelly, I mean, you look at it, it's a knee injury, it's a neck injury, it's like stuff. It's like, oh, it's not like he sprained his ankle. These are some big boy injuries. So when we signed him, I looked, and a lot of Colts fans were talking about that. Ryan Kelly's great. He's one of the top, when he's out there, he's one of the top centers in the league. But it's when he's out there. And again, with Will Fries, the same thing. Like these are 2 big swings. With the Ryan Kelly, if it doesn't work out, the $9 million guaranteed is what it is, and they'll move on from him from a year. But as Vikings fans, we got high expectations, man. We need him healthy. We're asking for the moon, but we need him out there for 17 games. We got him. It's all about McCarthy, year 1, confidence, keep him upright. And if we got to move on after year 1, that's fine. But we're just hoping for at least 1 good year out of Kelly.
I mean, we're mentioning McCarthy. We're wanting to protect McCarthy. I get it. I'm with you. I'm all for protecting J.J. McCarthy. But you've signed 2 offensive linemen who are very good, but they're also stronger in the run game than they are in the passing game. What does that tell you about what you're looking at with this offense?
I think we're going to look at an offense where they're running the hell out of the ball. Like I said, with Jordan Mason coming in, they didn't trade for him just to be a nice little piece. He's going to be getting some tough yards, and that's what Mason does. And Aaron Jones as well. He had the most carries he's had in his entire career last year. Last year, Sam Darnold, I mean, he was throwing that thing a ton. He was dropping back a ton, but he's also getting sacked a ton. And I think they learned a lot from that, where they can't do that to a rookie quarterback who didn't play last year. So I expect him to run the ball, but Kevin O'Connell, he just can't help himself either. That dude loves to pass the ball. And when you got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, you can't just run the ball every time. Right. So there'll be some bumps along the road.
Well, Kevin O'Connell's a former quarterback. He's gotta get his boys some spotlight.
Oh yeah.
That was all the questions I had had for you. You did phenomenal. I learned a lot here about the Vikings opinion. What anything else you want to say before we head out here?
No, I mean, just like Colts fans, I mean, Vikings fans, we're hoping next year is our year, baby. We got some pieces to build on. Colts did have some good pickups in free agency as well. So it's gonna be a fun next month or so. Come draft time, talking a ton of draft. This is the time of year to get excited about what could be. And yeah, it's always great to talk football. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate you for doing this. So with that, I'm going to head into my little end of spiel here and go subscribe to the Onebar and Lupagus Show. Let's get them to 15,000. They just hit 14,000. Like, was that 2 weeks ago or something I saw?
Last week. Free agency's been fun. It's bringing a lot of viewers on. So
okay, good. Yeah, let's get them to 15,000 by draft. Let's get us to 1,000 by draft. I'm setting the bar a little bit lower.
Hell yeah.
We're at 539 right now, so it's doable.
We're gonna send our guys over.
I appreciate that. Sure. I appreciate that. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. No Buts About It. Chuss and I appreciate it so much. We're trying to turn this into a full-time gig. If you want to support us, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.